Wow, so this is very unexpected. I usually don't anticipate these types of stories, but I'm going to read the article and then I'll give my opinion on it. Governor Paul LePage left a state lawmaker from Westbrook an expletive-laden Latin phone message Thursday, which was yesterday, in which he accused the legislator of calling him a racist, encouraged him to make the message public, and said, "I'm after you." LePage sent the message Thursday morning after a television reporter appeared to suggest that Democratic Representative Drew Gattin was among several people who had called the governor a racist, which Gattin later denied. The exchange followed remarks the governor made in North Berwick on Wednesday night about the racial makeup of suspects arrested on drug trafficking charges in Maine. Mr. Gattin, this is Governor Paul Richard LePage. A recording of the governor's phone message says, "I would like to talk to you about your comments about my being a racist, you expletive. I want to talk to you. I want you to prove that I'm a racist. I've spent my life helping black people, and you little son of a bitch, socialist expletive, I need you to just friggin', I want you to record this and make it public because I am after you. Thank you." Alright. LePage later invited a Portland Press Herald reporter and a two-person television crew from WMTW to the Blaine house, where during a 30-minute interview the governor described his anger with Gattin and others, told them he had left the phone message, and said he wished he and the lawmakers could engage in an armed duel to settle the matter. When a snot-nosed little guy from Westbrook calls me a racist, I'd like him to come up here because, tell you right now, I wish it were 1825, LePage said, and we would have a duel. That's how angry I am, and I would not put my gun in the air. I guarantee you. I would not be Alexander Hamilton. I would point it right between his eyes because he is a snot-nosed little runt, and he has not done a damn thing since he's been in this legislature to help move the state forward. Gattin is the House Chair of the Legislature Health and Human Services Committee, which has opposed some of LePage's welfare, drug enforcement, and other reforms. He said the governor's phone message was uncalled for. Obviously, the message is unsettling, inappropriate, and uncalled for, Gattin said yesterday night. It's hard to believe it's from the governor of the state of Maine. But again, we need to stay focused on the drug problem we're facing here in Maine and cannot allow this story to be about the governor's inappropriate and vulgar behaviors. Reporters' questions enrages governor. LePage left a message after a television reporter asked the governor what he would say to people who are calling him racist. LePage asked who had called him that. Reporter said he had talked to Gattin, but didn't say Gattin had called the governor racist. LePage then reacted, told the reporters you make me so sick, and stormed off. He later called the same reporters to the Blaine house for an interview, told them he had called Gattin and said he hoped the lawmaker would make the governor's phone message public. The Press Herald made a Freedom of Access Act request for the phone message, and Gattin provided a copy to the Press Herald around 8:50 p.m. Gattin has been a long-standing critic of many of LePage's proposals to reform the state's welfare system, has blocked efforts by Mary Mayhew, Commissioner of the Department of Health and Human Services, to change eligibility requirements for a variety of programs that help individuals and families with developmental disabilities. Gattin is running for re-election in House District 34, which includes the city of Westbrook. He is unopposed. Gattin said Thursday that he never called LePage a racist. This is so long. I'm going to cut it off after this quote. What I said to the television reporter today is that the kind of racially charged comments the governor made are not at all helpful in solving what the real problem is, Gattin said. And that is, we have a crisis in the state of Maine of people overdosing on heroin and prescription drugs, and we are not doing enough with respect to treatment and prevention. Okay, that's enough because you could spend all day reading the story, and never gonna get to the actual, uh, substantive matters of my opinion. So I find it very amusing, um, and that's for a couple of reasons. I don't condone, I guess, random. We all get mad and we all get angry, but I try to. I think as governor, I would stay professional. I don't know. I guess since he's like a lame duck, I think he's in his second term. He kind of has this thing where it's as if he has nothing to lose, so he's untouchable in a way. and to an extent, he kind of is. I mean, no, I've never heard of someone having to resign over swearing on a voicemail, but there's a first time for everything. I don't think that'll happen though. So obviously, him and Gatine have their issues together, and I found it very amusing that Gatine didn't even say the guy was racist. He never specifically said, "Oh yeah, the governor's racist," and he just he just went off. I mean, it's very humorous. It's as if his own words had nothing to do with what actually ended up happening. Like it was just this entire fabrication on the part of LePage. And he did kind of make a remark that I guess you could infer was saying he was making it's still not the same to me at least, just in my opinion. Um, but regardless, you still have a governor who's leaving those types of messages on people's answering machines. And it's what really surprises me is that usually when we get leaked material, like that thing with what's his name, Bentley, the Alabama governor, I think it was late last year. It's usually leaked by somebody else, and they don't put it out there themselves. And even though this was leaked by Gatine, the page made the request and said, "Yeah, come on, man, put this out here. I want everybody to see about it and hear about it." Which is another just unique thing about this case. Um, I just and this is kind of where it gets a little sad, honestly. I always thought of people in offices, at least the bigger ones like governor, senator, as someone you should, at least as a member of their state, look up to. Because they control laws, they make policies. At least that's what they're supposed to be doing. You know, um, there are some people who obviously do not take politics seriously, and I'm not taking the story seriously. I'll just admit that to you now. But this has given me so much more evidence as to why they feel the way they do about this. Because it's a joke. This story is a gag. It's not anything substantive. Nobody's being helped out by it. It's it's just it's comical, it's humorous, but it's not substantive. It's not beneficial towards anyone. Um, except making me laugh for a little bit, but I'll probably forget about it by Sunday, which is in 2 days. So again, I'm sitting over here amazed because how do you even, as governor, go around saying these types of things and then saying, yeah, put it out there, do it. All of it, and it's kind of new, which is kind of what I like a little bit. That I've never heard a story of this particular nature, where they said, yeah, leak it, leak it, leak it, leak it. So that's what's also appealing to me. But on the other hand, you still have the fact that this is a governor and someone that is in charge of making laws acting this way. I'm not saying remove him from office. I'm not saying, you know, uh, he's a horrible man. He's a horrible racist man. None of that. I am saying that if he's governor and he does this, that's problematic. And he needs to either keep his anger in check. And look, we all get mad about things, and I know at the end of the day, all these politicians have human emotions. Um, but again, you can't explode and especially on another lawmaker who you're going to be in office most likely with for another 2-3 years. Because the guy, they said that he's unopposed in his little primary battle or his battle overall to keep his seat. So he did a disservice to himself in my view, but it is what it is. I'm very surprised to hear a story out of Maine that I was very interested in. I mean, I really don't have much of a connection to the state at all. Really, the only thing that would ever make me go over there is Bates College, but that's about it. That wouldn't even be to attend just to see it. So I have an interest in that school, as far as just wanting to know about their academics and other things. But whatever. Definitely not an unexpected story, and it was something that gave me a laugh. So there's that. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.